Greetings to Spring ISD's incoming 5th graders. This lesson will cover adding fractions with like denominators. Before we get into adding fractions, let's review a couple of skills. First, simplifying fractions, and then changing an improper fraction into a mixed number. First, let's look at fractions in simplest form. A fraction is in simplest form when 1 is the only number that the numerator and denominator are both divisible by. Let's look at this problem. 3/10 plus 5/10 equals 8/10. We will go into more detail with adding in a few moments, but for now, look at the answer, 8/10. Both 8 and 10 are divisible by 2, so that means we can simplify the fraction to 4/5. We are basically making an equivalent fraction. If you don't see your answer in the answer choices, then look for an equivalent fraction. An improper fraction represents a fraction greater than 1. A mixed number is a whole number mixed with a fraction. In the problem 5/8 plus 4/8, the answer is 9/8, which is an improper fraction or a fraction greater than 1, as we can see in the model. Let's see how many 8s are in one whole. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 8s in one whole, so we can write 8/8 as 1. Since we only have 1/8 left, we write that next to 1 to finish our mixed number. So 9/8 can also be written as 1 and 1/8. You may see both of these skills in the problems that we will answer. Here's a quick intro for adding fractions with like denominators.
Adding fractions with a common denominator. We have two fractions, and here's a model to represent them. We have to add them together. Both of the wholes are divided up into 8 parts, so we've got denominators of 8 on both of these fractions. In total, we have some number of parts out of 8. We add the shaded parts to find out how many parts we've got, and that's going to be our numerator. 3 plus 4 is 7 parts out of 8. If I remove the model and we just focus on the fractions, you can see the denominator is unchanged. It stays as parts out of 8. So you can see, when you add fractions, if the denominator is the same, you keep it and just add the numerators. In this example, we've got 6 parts out of 10 plus 2 parts out of 10. 6 plus 2 is 8 parts out of 10. But then I can say to you, I want you to reduce your fraction to its lowest terms. If you've watched my other films on fractions so far, you'll say to yourself, I know what to do here. 8 and 10 are both even numbers, so they can be divided by 2. I can simplify this fraction. And when you divide top and bottom by 2, you get 4/5. That is a simplified fraction. It is now reduced to its lowest terms. The rule is, if you can reduce a fraction to its lowest terms, have a Nike moment and just do it. And you may be asked to add more than 2 fractions together, like this. 4/7 plus 2/7 plus 5/7. Here's a quick way of laying this out so you don't make any mistakes. And I use this myself all the time. I have a common denominator of 7, so I know my answer will be something over 7. I'm going to extend the fraction bar. Then I write in my numerators over the top. 4 plus 2 plus 5. This strategy is designed to make sure students don't make the mistake of accidentally adding denominators. And you know, we never add the denominators. Next, you just add it up. 4 plus 2 is 6, plus 5 is 11. We get 11 over 7. That's the numerators added, but now we've got an improper fraction, so it won't do. But that's okay, because you know how to change it to a proper fraction, don't you? Remember how? The denominator is 7. That means there's 7 parts in one whole. How many groups of 7 are there in 11? Well, there's one lot of 7, and what's left over? Count it up. 8, 9, 10, 11. 4 left over, and that's our numerator. Put that back over the original denominator of 7, and we're done. Our answer is 1 4/7.
Let's look at it in more detail. Tanya and Carly shared a pizza. Tanya ate 5/12 of the pizza. Carly ate 4/12 of the pizza. What fraction of the pizza did they eat together? Give the answer in simplest form. Let's use a model to help us add. First, we shade 5/12 and then 4/12. When we count them all together, we get 9/12. Notice the denominator did not change because we are counting pieces of the same whole. 9/12 is not in its simplest form because both 9 and 12 can be divided by 3, which changes the fraction to 3/4. So our answer in simplest terms is 3/4. Let's look at this one. A roller coaster has 2 cars. The models are shaded to show the part of each car that is filled. What fraction represents the total number of cars filled? When we count the eighths that are shaded, we get 10/8. 10/8 is not one of our answer choices, but we know it represents a fraction bigger than 1, so we can eliminate B and C. Let's count 8/8 for one whole. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we have 2/8 left. So our answer is 1 2/8. Let's try some together. Etta walked 7/10 mile from her house to the library. Then she walked 5/10 mile from the library to the park. What was the total distance in miles that Etta walked? What number sentence represents the problem? Pause the video and think. Since the problem is asking about total distance, we know we are going to add 7/10 and 5/10. You can always use a model to help you see the fractions better, and remember the denominator doesn't change. Take some time to draw a model to help you add, or just add the numerators and leave the denominator the same. We can shade 7/10 and 5/10 on the model. When we add them together, we see that 12/10 are shaded. To convert that improper fraction into a mixed number, we can use the model. Pause the video and write 12/10 as a mixed number. We can see that one whole rectangle is shaded and 2/10 are shaded on the other rectangle. So the mixed number is 1 2/10. Let's look at the next one. The parking lot has 2 rows of parking spaces. The models are shaded to show the fraction of spaces where cars are parked. What fraction represents the total number of spaces where cars are parked? Take some time to look at the models and write a number sentence to represent the problem. The problem and the models show 1/6 plus 2/6. Now, answer the problem you just wrote. If you got 3/6, then you are correct. Now look at the answer choices. I don't see 3/6 as a choice. Which answer is equivalent or shows 3/6 in simplest form? When we look at our answer, we know it is not a mixed number, so A and D are not the answer. If you draw a model, you can see that 3/6 is equivalent to 1/2, so our answer is C. Now it's time for you to apply what you've learned and practice a few on your own. Nathan tracked the days he met his reading goal for a 2-week period. The models are shaded to represent the days Nathan met his goal each week. What fraction of weeks did Nathan meet his reading goal? Take some time to work. Let's check it. I know that for this problem, it's asking for the fraction of weeks altogether, which means I'm going to add. When I add 5/7 and 6/7, I get 11/7, which is an improper fraction. So I need to convert it into a mixed number to match one of my answer choices. But first, I can eliminate A and D now. I need to count 7/7 to create one whole and then find out how many I have left over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7/7 for one whole, and 1/7, 2/7, 3/7, 4/7 left over. So our mixed number is 1 and 4/7, and our answer is B. Here's another one. Mark and Angie bought a pizza at the pizza parlor. Mark ate 5/12 of the pizza and Angie ate 4/12 of the pizza. What fraction of the pizza did Mark and Angie eat together? Pause the video and work it out. When I added 5/12 and 4/12, I got 9/12. Since 9/12 is not on my answer choices, I know that means I'm looking for the simplest form or a fraction equivalent to 9/12. I can eliminate A and B because they have 12 as a denominator, so they can't be the answer. When I draw my own model of 9/12, I can see 4 columns. So if I take out the horizontal lines, I'm left with 3/4. Or I could just divide 9 and 12 by 3, and I would get the same answer. So my answer is C, 3/4. Last one. At the farmer's market, Mary sold 3/4 basket of oranges in the morning and 1/4 basket of oranges in the afternoon. How much did she sell all day? Pause the video and solve. I know I need to add because it says how many she sold the whole day. So 3/4 plus 1/4 equals 4/4. Our answer is D. Here's a quick recap of today's lesson.
Adding like fractions. Like fractions have the same denominator. These are like.
For your final challenge, you will complete the next problems on your own and turn them into your teacher. Pause the video and take your time. You got this. To practice this concept, you can make up your own problems. Remember, you can draw a model to help you. Ask an adult or a teacher if you need help. See you later and happy adding!